Hi, welcome to Lone Star Vault, a video series of economic discussions of current and past topics with various guests, including economists, educators, and business leaders. The purpose of these videos is to educate my clients in an effort to inform you about the financial industry and potentially increase your knowledge when making financial decisions. In this first clip, you will see Dr. Hammerschmidt discuss quantitative easing, inflation, and specific moves that the Federal Reserve makes in order to lower the cost of money in our economy. If you could please explain that particular concept and how it applies to our particular economy.
Okay, well, basically, I guess I'd put it this way: money, like many other things, you really don't get to own it, you rent it. So you use it over time, and when you use it, you're giving up other sorts of things. And so, for example, if I take $1 and put it into my savings account, I'm earning interest on it. In today's world, not much, but back when I was in college, interest rates are around 10, 15% in some savings type accounts. And so if I pull that money out to use it for something else, I'm giving up earning interest. And so over time, if I leave it in that account, that $1, let's say at 10%, becomes $1.10 a year later. Or stated differently, $100 becomes $110. So over time, money increases in value. Now, of course, how much value depends on things like inflation.
Right.
If I put that $100 in a bank account for a year and get 10% interest and I have $110 at the end of the year, but inflation also went up 10%, then it doesn't buy anymore. Right. So we want that interest rate you're earning to be over and above the inflation rate for a real increase.
So, in other words, your real return is essentially zero if inflation is the same number of what if your spending goes up and inflation goes up at the same time, your purchasing power essentially is null and void.
Absolutely. So we look at the nominal, the market value of interest rates, and so in today's world, again, these things change all the time, but in today's world, when the prime rate, let's take that as an example, is 3.75% interest. Let's say I put money into a savings account, depending on the type of account and risk and term and so on. Let's say I get 3.75%. If inflation is growing at 2%, then I've made 1.75% more than inflation over that time, and I've got a real return. But if I'm getting 3.75% in my savings account, and inflation is also 3.75%, and I'm getting a 0% real return. And over the last couple of years, we've been living at returns pretty close to 0% because of the Federal Reserve's actions on driving interest rates to historically